So tonight I'm excited because we're actually going to be talking to a few different people tonight. We're going to be talking to one person who has already been 4 months a part of the full-time FBA coaching program. We're going to talk with her and interview her, have an opportunity for you to ask her questions, whatever questions you want. And we also have a new coaching student who just signed up, and so we're going to um, talk with her and ask her just a few questions because we have our full-time FBA coaching program, and we have been promoting it to you and talking about bonuses, and just as a reminder, the bonuses for enrolling in the full-time FBA coaching program expire at midnight Central. I guess technically 11:59 p.m. Central tomorrow night. Um, and so you want to make sure, if you want to be a part of our coaching program, to be sure to be here um, and sign up for those bonuses so you don't miss out on that. So again, that link, fultimefba.com/coaching, and it's going to be awesome. Another quick reminder, the replays, if you've missed out on any of the previous replay calls, the videos, those will also be coming down after midnight tomorrow night Central Time. So fultimefba.com/replays is the link for that, and we'll enjoy the time with those replay videos. So be sure to watch them, soak up the information, and then start applying the information to your Amazon business, and you will start to see um, just the actions that you take will start to provide results, the kind of results that you're looking for. So I'm going to bring on our first guest for the night, Ciela. Ciela is a current coaching student. She's been a part of our coaching program for a few months. I'm going to bring her on in just a moment. Ciela, if you're listening, it's going to knock you off and then bring you back onto the call as a panelist. So I'm going to do that right now. So, um, and if you are here and you've got questions that you want to ask either me, or if you want to ask your questions to Ciela, then start putting those questions in the chat. I know we've got the Q&A tab as well. I'll also check that, although I most likely will be looking at the chat more than the Q&A tab. So Ali, I'm really glad and really excited about this, to have Ciela here with us tonight. Ciela, how are you doing?
I'm great, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but the podcast interview with you just dropped today, um, and so I'm excited that you were able to come on here tonight as well.
I know. Wow, I feel like I'm like on a tour or something. It's
Yes, I mean, I would love to get your autograph, and
Ah.
that would be fun for sure.
Well,
Um,
I'm excited to join you and the rest of the people that have been following along with you last week. I can remember when I was in that seat.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that. What was it like to go through the workshops before, and what made you decide, you know what, this is something I want to be a part of?
Well, first of all, I think I really liked that they were bite sized, like they were an hour each night, because there's, throughout the 5 days, there's just a loads of information, and you kind of put it into different categories and different topics, and so it was more easily digestible. And I know for me, being a new seller, there's lots of information coming your way, and so sometimes it's just hard to digest all at once. So I really enjoyed that 1 hour a night. I also enjoyed the other people that were on the call and hearing the questions that were coming up, that I could take note of, that I may have not encountered yet, but certainly could hear their questions. And I guess from there, I would say it just sort of whet my appetite. So I felt like I kind of had gotten a little tip of the iceberg, and I knew from, you know, even the few months that I had been in, I think I'd probably been trying to do this for about 3 or 4 months before I joined the coaching program, that there was just so much more to learn. And there was
Yeah.
just so much more that I felt like I could get better navigating through things, with, some support on my side.
Yeah, so what was it like for you when you first joined the program? Um, like what did you decide to focus on, and how do you think things went from there?
So through your resources, it helped me decide what to focus on because when you get, kind of the access to the library and all the different courses, you really kind of walk through a nice kind of Q&A for yourself to determine where am I at, what is the right next step for me. So I like that there was not you start here and then you end here, because everyone can be at different place, or everyone might need more experience in a certain subject matter. So for me, that was kind of where it was able to really decide what was the right place to focus on first. And even though I've been in for 6 months, I haven't completed everything yet, but that's okay because again, as we talked about and you've shared in our coaching calls many times, like right time, right now. So you
Hmm.
don't have to go through everything. It's not going to go away. You get access to it forever, as long as we're still doing this, and so that makes it also really feel like you're not under pressure to just go in and try and finish everything so fast.
Yeah, and the full-time FBA coaching program, it just reminded me of when I was a kid and I used to read those choose your own adventure books.
Yeah.
Like, when this happens, do you choose this or do you choose this? And it's like, turn to this page. And I love those books. And that's kind of how we have the full-time FBA coaching program. So it was like, hey, if this is where you are in your Amazon journey, this is where to start. If your goal is this, here's a different place for you to start. So which one did you end up doing first?
For me, I did a little bit of the jump start, because there was some areas while I had already had my account set up and some of that kind of stuff that I was able to kind of skip over. There was
Hmm.
still some other things that I felt from a foundational perspective were good. So I did that, but then I also for me went into the OA sourcing course. That was where I felt like I really needed to hone my skills better and be able to do it faster, be more efficient, and get some things to sell, because without anything in your store, you you can be on a lot of videos, take a lot of videos, but with nothing in your store to sell, that doesn't help you keep going.
Yeah, and I love how you focused on like, okay, what can I do that will bring the results to me faster? And you didn't, because there are some people who are like, all right, I chose the package that includes 5 courses of 25 hours of videos to watch, and I'm going to learn all of that first before I do anything, before I go actually look for inventory or buy any inventory. And you were like, no, 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 not me. I'm going to take a course and then take action and then take a different course and then take different actions. And so it's like, you know, a lot of people are just so stuck on the learning aspect of it that they delay their success because they're just like, I just need to learn more. I mean, that's what happens for some people. We try to encourage everyone to take action. That's why on our calls at the end of each one of our coaching calls, we talk about the goals that we're going to be focusing on the next couple of weeks. And if someone
Yeah,
shows up and they're like, "Well, my goal is to finish this module," and then 2 weeks later, "Well, my goal is to finish this other module," I'm going to kind of help pivot them towards, okay, well, when's going to be your first sourcing? When is going to be your first time to send inventory in?
right.
So tell me a time of like basically how the digital courses that you got access. And also let me interrupt myself, if there's anyone, if you have any questions you want me to ask
Yeah.
Ciela, put it in the chat. Be sure you do that so I can do that. We have a short amount of time with her and we want to maximize that time so that your questions are answered. But
So, Stephen, before you ask
yeah.
the question, I want to go back on the courses for just a second, because what I have found too is, like right now, I'm kind of in the middle of Keep It course, but what I've found is by having a little bit of experience, like going out and doing it a little bit, when I go back and then I take a course or take a module, I get more out of it because I have a little bit grasp and understanding versus it's just totally brand new and I don't even know what you're talking about. So I found that to be more helpful for me. Um, and even going back after you've done a module, right? Because now you've done it for a little bit and then you go back and like, oh, I picked up this tip that it didn't catch the first time, or it didn't sink in as to why it was helpful. So that's a little bit more on how I been using the courses.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. That kind of leads into my next question that I was going to ask, which was, do
Well,
you remember?
because we're always like on the same page.
That's, I mean, basically what happened. Um, Tell me about a time when you were taking a course and that led to some of our conversations in a coaching call. Can you think of a time when that happened?
Yeah, I think what I would say is I think the feedback. That's a good example for me. So, you don't until you're really understanding how feedback works, and that there's product feedback and there's seller feedback, and you don't understand necessarily the importance of it. I would say that in the course that when it's modules and the courses, was advising me not only why it's important, but then how to go get it and how to go solicit feedback from people that have purchased items from you, and how you can really jumpstart getting those scores. And that obviously then leads to better buy box position. And so there all those things just was like, oh wow, okay, you know what, that's not that hard to do. And it also really, I know for me, if I was on the other end as a customer and getting an email from a seller, which I never do, I can tell you
Mm,
really, to say, hey, I hope your experience was great, I know you got your product, if there's anything I can do, please let me know. And if not, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit above and beyond and sets you
yes.
apart. So that's something I learned.
Yeah, it's a nice touch, a
Yeah.
personalized touch in a world that is not very personalized at all right
Yeah.
now, for
Right.
sure. Yeah. I got a question here from Alicia, who was curious. What was your biggest obstacle once you got your first few shipments sent to Amazon?
Let's see. My biggest obstacle. I think my biggest obstacle was um, understanding the pricing component. There is a whole kind of strategy around your pricing. So I think that was, and for me, that probably then it led to slower sales because I
Mhm.
may not have been priced correctly, or I may not have understood where to come in at my pricing, who was my true competitors. Because you look at that whole list of, you may have a lot of sellers, but they either may be out of stock or they're much higher than the buy box. So I think pricing was the kind of a next component that was a key factor in moving my sales and my business forward in once I got products in.
Yeah, definitely. Because there is, in fact, Rebecca and I just recorded a podcast that will drop in a few weeks. It's about picking the perfect price, and how sometimes that perfect price changes from time to time. And so we'll definitely talk about that on the podcast in the future. The next thing I want to talk with you about, someone asked this anonymously. Um, if you want credit for the question, because I feel like it's a good question, let me know. But someone was asking anonymously, what was something that surprised you about selling on Amazon that you did not know before you got there?
uh, I think I don't mean this to sound negative because it's not, but it's complex. It's not a super simple, pick it up one day and off you're running. But for me, that was also intriguing because it meant that there was some stimulation and some thoughts and some learning and some skills that you had to develop. And I think when you look at having a business versus a hobby, if
Mhm.
it's a hobby, that's great. But you want to be challenged and you want to fix, be able to get over obstacles, and you want to learn more things and you want to get better at it. And so it's not one of those where in a week you're going to be now an expert, and there's nothing more to really do or learn or get involved in. So that was a surprise to me. I think at times, sometimes not knowing it was probably a good thing,
Mhm.
because you could get a little fearful, but I think that was surprise. And then I guess the other thing was I felt like once I really took the step to get items in, then it just kind of propelled me to keep going, because you just have to keep going.
Yeah.
And that was sort of like, okay, that's my start, and now you keep going. So
Yeah, selling on Amazon is definitely complex, but I mean I see the I'm a silver lining kind of person. I see like, well, if it was so simple, everyone would be doing it,
right.
and we wouldn't really be able to find the success that we're able to find if just anybody can do that. And also for those of you who are just trying to do this on your own and figure it out as you go, it's still possible, but it's a much slower path that way, just figuring it out. If you have a chance to take one of our courses, if you're like, oh, I'd love to do coaching, but I can't afford that. Which course should I focus on? I saw someone was asking that. I think Lisa was asking that. Like the Jumpstart Amazon course that we offer helps you build up the foundations that you need to get going selling on Amazon, from opening your account, getting your first sale, just all of the things that you can foundationally do to make sure that you're set up for success. And then everything else that we have to teach you basically builds off of that. Um, so what's the course? I'm curious, what's the course you have not had the time yet to finish?
Well, let's see. Like I said, I'm in the middle of Keepa, and while I had, gone through some modules on Keepa, et cetera, it was now just I want to do a more of a deep dive into
Mhm.
Keepa's capabilities. So that's the one I'm on right now. And I'm trying to remember
Yeah, I
what
think
others.
the other courses, there's a replen course and then there's a pricing
Yes.
course.
Yes. So for me, pricing will be next,
Mm.
because I think replan, I have a little bit of my strategy around that. And so far, so there's plenty in there, Stephen, to
Right.
keep me busy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. For
and
sure.
like, it's a balance, right, between doing and learning and all that.
Exactly. I do understand learning is fun.
Yeah.
Learning is also safe. You're not going to make mistakes if you're learning, but getting out there and actually putting some money into it and the time and energy is, I know it's risky, it's kind of scary, but that's where you're going to find the most magic and move things forward. Um,
I
I
will
do,
say that when I sent my very first shipment, I was like, oh, okay, I did it. Like I checked off that first, and it was like, okay, I think I did it right. I was very slow and making sure, anyway, but it was rewarding as well to know that that first one was sent.
oh yeah, and that's where the snowball starts. Once you get that stuff sent to Amazon, then you can start to, make money off of the sale, learn from the mistakes, because guess what? We're all going to make mistakes. You're going to
Yeah.
make mistakes, but it's okay. It reminds me of the quote that I talked about a few days ago. It was Michael Jordan was like, "I've made more mistakes than people have even made attempts, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm a success."
Right.
So, um, I just want to say last call for questions for Ciela. So be sure if you have a question for her to put that in the chat for me to ask her. I do have another question. Someone asked, do you have any tips on staying organized? We just said this is a complex type of business and we need some help and training with that. What kind of tips do you have on staying organized?
So that's probably a strength of mine. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just too scattered, and so organization is really critical for me. I use a system, whether you have a day planner or whatever you have, every single day and every single morning, I start my morning out with, okay, what are the two or three things that I need to focus on today? Now I have other to dos for sure, but if they don't get done, I've got a kind of a prioritization of what that's going to be. I know for me, like when I was shipping before I outsourced, I had usually like a day of the week where I was going to make prep and get my shipping done. So I think whatever kind of, whatever works for you, there's no magic, but you have to, for me, have to write it down. It helps me to write it down. I can't just keep it in my head, and I can't just, rely on my phone or a sticky note. I really, is this Rebecca coming? Because she's going to totally relate to what I'm saying. That she is the queen of, like, the organization.
Yes.
So, but anyways, so that's, I think it also helps because it helps from getting overwhelmed,
Mhm.
right? When you say, oh my gosh, I need to get through this 12 video courses. Well, okay, so today I'm going to do module 1 and 2, and that's my goal. And so breaking it down is really, it also helps you keep organized and keep from being overwhelmed. That's my
Yeah,
tip.
that's awesome. Yeah. And yeah, Rebecca did just jump on. I'm not sure if she's ready to come on camera yet or not, but she's home. And just
Is
listening in
she the
the
one that
background.
just joined the course?
What's that now?
You said you were going to have another
Oh,
guest. Kidding.
yes. Yes.
She's a lifer.
One of our newest students, Rebecca Smotherman. I mean, yeah, she's just gonna be she's catching up on dinner and stuff, so she's just gonna be listening in the background. But
Awesome.
I'm glad. I'm making sure we're behaving ourselves and having some fun. Um, so again, last call for questions for Ciela. What would you tell somebody if they're like on the fence about joining our coaching program? You know, what's it like, and why should I actually do this?
I think you will be incredibly surprised at how much you get out of it. I have been just blown away by not only the amount that's in the coursework themselves, just the amount of hours and all of the knowledge and the way you guys break it down, but it's the interaction. I mean, there's nothing like you coming up against something. You got an email from Amazon, and I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying is wrong,
Yes.
and B, I don't know how to tackle it. I don't know kind of where to start, and so that has truly helped me so much. I would say that you also have to be accountable, and if you're going to do it, take full advantage of it. I mean, there's nothing like, Stephen and Rebecca giving time once every 2 weeks for an hour to just really open up to whatever it is you want to talk about, whatever's on your mind. They don't try and steer. I mean, you give us some topic, but you always make sure that there's room for our questions. And I would say that if you're on the fence, you won't regret jumping in. You are going to see results much more quickly, I think, and you just take advantage of this community that's behind you, and these people that have done this for a really long time, and their expertise and how to get through some things. It's great, the learning, and I think for me, like, the courses are the learning part, right? And then it's the in-person Zoom, where you really get through some of your challenges that you
Yeah.
that you don't know quite how to get through. Then that's just they're just there. They're going to be there, and it's very helpful to get someone that will answer. And you'll also answer an email in between at times if you need help.
Yeah, if Amazon sends you an email or someone claiming to be a brand reaches out to you saying,
Right.
"Stop selling our brand," and you're like, "Steven, is this legit? Is this?" I'm like, "No, they're just trying to scare you off the listing."
That's
Yes.
right. It was Yeah, it was interesting that they sent it at 2:48 in the morning.
Of course.
And I was like, of course. So, to give you time to respond. I'm not up responding then, but I have thoroughly enjoyed the time in the coaching program. And I also think that because it's a year-long process, you are growing through your business throughout that time. And so questions that you had at the beginning aren't going to be the same questions that you have 2 months from the time you start, and they're not going to be the same questions you have 6 months, and they're not going to be the same questions 10 months. So as you kind of go through your journey, you've still got the access and the ability to have someone to reach out to and someone to talk to about it. So that's what I would say,
Yeah,
is
and
don't be
also,
scared, do it.
yes, exactly. And also, I love like we have a really good time on our coaching
We do.
calls. It's a lot of fun. It's an encouraging, positive thing, and
Yeah.
I'm really thankful to you, Ciela, for coming on and just answering a few of our questions tonight. So, thank you.
Well, I'm more than happy to do it. Thank you for inviting me, and I hope everyone that's participating tonight has enjoyed everything they've heard this last week, and success in your Amazon business, everyone. That would be my wish for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and Ciela, I will see you tomorrow on our coaching
Yeah,
call. Yes.
absolutely. I'll
All
be
right.
there. I'm
Good.
who knows who else, but I'll be there.
All right,
Thanks,
that's awesome.
Stephen. Bye,
Thank you so much.
Rebecca.
All right, so I am kicking Ciela off, not the call, just as a panelist. She's gonna still be brought back on as one of the attendees here. The next person I'm going to bring on, I had another um, coaching student that's been a part of our full-time FBA coaching program for many months, and he was going to come on, and I actually got an email from him earlier today. I'm going to read it to you. It says, his name is Don. We're going to talk with him tonight. And he's like, "Hello, Stephen. Hope you're doing well. Unfortunately, I am not. I'm in the hospital with serious health issues they're trying to solve. I don't know when I'm going to be discharged, so it looks like I can't make it tonight. I'm really disappointed because I wanted there to be there to cheer you on and tell everyone how much you helped me. Hope that everything goes well tonight. I see that you spotlighted Ciela on the recent podcast. Great choice. I'm sure she's going to do a great job tonight explaining how much you've also helped her. So Don, if you're watching this, uh, if you were watching this on the replay or live, we miss you. We hope you're feeling well, and we are sending prayers your way for healing. Um, the next person I'm going to bring on the call is someone who actually just signed up for the full-time FBA coaching program a few days ago. We're going to talk with her, and so Alicia, it's going to be the same thing for you. It's going to look like I kick you off the call, but you're going to come back as a panelist. So I'm going to promote you to panelist, and you should be coming up again really soon. And as we wait for her, I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow night at 12 at 11:59 p.m. Central, our bonuses for our coaching program are going to be disappearing. So fulltimefba.com/coaching to sign up for a coaching. We've got a 6-month program, a 12-month program. We have a program that includes 3 of our courses bundled with our biweekly coaching, and there's one with 5 of our courses bundled with that type of coaching. And I want to introduce you now to Alicia, who signed up a few days ago for our coaching program. Alicia, how are you doing?
Good, and you? Hi, everyone.
I'm
A little
doing
bit
really good.
nervous.
Yeah, it's we're gonna have a good time tonight. And so I want you to kind of just tell everybody who's listening, kind of like where you were in your Amazon journey before you decided to join the coaching program, and what made you want to join our crazy group of Amazon resellers.
Before joining the program, I was actually trying to do it on my own, going out and researching, looking through YouTube, looking at different videos. I had joined another program and gotten partway through, but I found it to be very impersonal. The material was great, and they're teaching some of the same things I'm seeing on your website and your blog post. But in I've been to 2 or 3 of your workshops now and listened to your podcast, and you guys seem so personal, and you're there. You're like, we can talk to you. So that's one reason why I decided to join your program and continue my journey through your program.
That's awesome. And like Ciela was talking about a second ago, when you join the program, we basically give you a plan. Like if you are at this stage, focus on this course. If you're on this other part of the stage, have you had a chance to look at that and see which course you're going to focus on first?
Yep. Since I've put 3 shipments into Amazon now, so I'm call myself a dabbler at this point, a newbie. Um, I know the basics. So what I've decided to do is go through and start on your online arbitrage. Because it looks like in looking at going to the library and looking at the list of items that are covered, you talk about some key things that I think are important. Budgeting, choosing, the basics of finding stuff that's profitable. So I kind of need help in that area because I'm struggling. Um, but
Yeah, well, you'll definitely love that program. That's a course that is more taught by, I mean, it's taught by Rebecca and I, but it's more her that helps lead the charge in that. And yeah, she follows so many more things than just buying stuff online and selling it on Amazon, because there's more to online arbitrage than just that. There's budgeting, there's understanding coupon codes, there's understanding finding replens, there's all sorts of certain things. So I look forward to seeing where that takes you in your Amazon business, because
it
we
was a
get
tough choice. You have so much to offer, and I know we've been talking about replens in the workshop I just stepped through, or that this is part of.
yeah.
So it was a tough choice between starting with the replens versus starting with the online arbitrage. So I went back to online arbitrage as my choice.
Yeah, that is a good choice. I think it's a good way to build up your knowledge and then add the knowledge of replens after that. Because we definitely in replens talk about retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and wholesale. And so, you'll already have some foundational stuff with online arbitrage, and then you can continue to grow and find even more replens from there. So that's really good.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this right now live and have a question that you want to ask Alicia, just put that in the chat, and we'll answer those as they come up. But my next question for you, Alicia, is like, and feel free to share as much or as little as you want about this, but was there anything about selling on Amazon that seemed kind of like scary? Like with joining the coaching program, is there anything that you were like scared of, or that was just like, ah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get over this, obstacle?
Finding replens. It feels like I'm gated for everything right now as a newbie. I've only been on for 2 months now selling stuff. So that's one of my biggest things. And I think learning the techniques and the secrets to finding a replen, something that you can sell over and over, will help me with get over that fear.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And once you start getting a few replens in your Amazon business, and I feel like we had a caller earlier today, one-on-one call. I feel like earlier you were saying that you've got some potential ones, and I feel really good about those, and for you to find even more than that for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's knowing, like, do I pull the trigger? Do I wait? How many do I buy? I need to learn all that. And
Yeah, and that's something that we definitely help you through, about knowing how much to buy, and how deep to go and how often to buy and all of that. I see in the chat Rebecca was saying, "We're so glad you joined us inside the coaching program, Alicia."
thank you.
We're definitely happy. And so, what would you say to anyone who's watching this and they're like, okay, Alicia, you just said I've been to a few of these workshops before, and this is like my third or fourth time coming to a workshop, but I still haven't pulled the trigger on signing up for coaching. What would you tell them to kind of help them to know whether or not this is going to be a good fit for them or not?
If you're not sure, sign up for the workshops, step through, look at the podcast, listen to the teachings. Everyone has a different learning style, and this one may not be for you. This one may match you perfectly, and this happened to be my learning style. Stephen has a great pace. The other ones I'm in go really, really fast, and you're presented with over 100 different modules to step through, and not really, you're assuming the order is 1 to 100, but it's hard to tell which direction you should go in if you're going to miss something if you skip it. Whereas when I first got my email to look in, like, you have a chart. I don't know what you call the chart, but it says, asks you, where are you? Are you new? Or have you been doing this before? And what, I'm getting nervous, sorry.
That's fine. No, it's good.
um, so you kind of direct the person, and you don't have to start at the top if you're beyond basic. That's one of the things I like about it.
Yeah, and like I just read in the chat, Rebecca was like, "You are doing great," and so yeah, nothing to worry about. So, what would you say are like your main goals that you hope to accomplish with the full-time FBA coaching program?
I'm looking at retirement in like 2 to 3 years, so I'm hoping to match my current income. That way I can still have the same lifestyle and still, be generous with my family and friends and have something to do, not be bored.
Yeah,
So that's my goal.
yeah, I love that, and just being able to continue to help others, to because a lot of people say when they get to retirement, and they're like, what do I do? And it's like, well, if I do, just if I start traveling or whatever, that's the money's going to run out really quickly if I even have any. And so I know that you're being really smart, and you're making good decisions now to make sure that you continue to be able to have that retirement and have the things taken care of, so that you can still live the life that you want to live with a little bit more financial freedom, and still be able to help others, giving generously. I love your heart behind that
Yeah,
100%.
thank you.
Yeah. So, um, is there any final words that you would like to share with anybody with when it comes to joining the coaching program? Is there anything that has really helped you maybe feel at peace about your decision, or helped you make that decision today?
That is a very good question. I think for me, just kicking the tires, going to your workshops, finding topics, following along, helped me make that decision. Because I've been looking at I think I've gone to 3 different workshops now, and this final one was the right timing for me.
Well, good. Well, we're so excited that you're here, and I look forward to seeing you on our first coaching call with the new students tomorrow. And so
Tomorrow.
it's gonna be awesome. So thank you again, Alicia, for being available so last minute and being able to jump on tonight. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And just like I told Ciela, I'm about to kick you off this call, but you'll be right back into the a panelist, or no, a attendee.
Attendee. Yep.
Yes. And so it's going to be awesome. So I want to remind everybody, fultonfba.com/coaching. We kind of keep track of who attends our workshops, and we know that there are people who have been here multiple workshops, and I totally get that. The timing is not always right for everybody. But this, especially with this being Q4, I feel like is one of the best times to start your journey in your Amazon business, to be able to start going through the courses, start selling things on Amazon, being able to take advantage of the high velocity, which mostly happens in November and the first 3 weeks of December, to sell online and use that velocity to kickstart yourself into a really great 2025 for next year. So we invite you to the Full-Time FBA coaching program, fulltimefba.com/coaching. And then our bonuses of the free 30-minute one-on-one call, strategy call. That's what Alicia and I did actually earlier today. And then the bonus of our Q4 masterclass, having access to that of how to have a six-figure Q4. And you get lifetime ownership of that masterclass. You get lifetime ownership of the courses that you are have access to because of our full-time FBA coaching program, and just start the ball rolling. Get that snowball at the top of the mountain. It just needs a little push. We're here to help you along the way for sure. So I see that Rebecca is here and on camera. So what's up, Rebecca?
So what did I miss?
Well, I mean, a lot.
I should sing that in my Thomas Jefferson voice.
Oh yeah.
What
What
did
I
I
miss?
miss?
Okay. Yes, you can just check the replay.
I will check the
We
replay.
will put tonight's lesson, tonight's session up about an hour and a half after this call is concludes. You can find it fultonfba.com/replays.
I'm
And
putting that in the chat too, in case there's anybody here who has missed any of the previous sessions.
absolutely. One other thing I want to make sure everyone knows and understands. Like I said before, our bonuses are going to expire midnight tomorrow night Central Time. I mean 11:59 p.m. technically. But if you still want to have access to those bonuses, what you got to do, if you're not able to enroll then, sign up for a Connect call before that time. If you need to talk with me, ask questions about our coaching program, how it's set up, anything to bring clarity or just bring more certainty to our coaching program, we want to answer your questions and help you out. And if you sign up for a Connect call at fulltimefba.com/connect, if you do that before midnight tomorrow night Central Time, we will bonus you. That sounds bad. We will honor the bonuses to have that if you have a Connect call sometime between now and then. Yep.
Awesome.
Yes. So Rebecca put all those links, the links to our coaching sign up page, the links to the replay page, the links to the Connect call. She put all that in the chat. And so just want to make sure everyone is aware of that. So tomorrow night is our final. Yes.
For
Our
real, for real.
Yeah, for real. I know our 5-day workshop is extended and we are on day 7 of our 5-day workshop, but tomorrow is going to be
Day 8, we're cutting it off.
yes, we're gonna cut you off. So all of you who still have questions that you want answered or you want to check out what other people are asking, join us tomorrow night. We'll make sure we email you the link if you signed up for our coaching or for our Q4 workshop. We're gonna have the emails go out tomorrow morning with the link to join us. And then a few minutes before the call actually goes live, we will send you the link again. So it's at the top of your inbox when we get started tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Any final words to share with everyone, Rebecca, before we head out?
I can't think of anything.
All right.
I will have to go back and watch the replay to hear what Ciela said.
Yes, it was good. It's always fun talking with
I'm
her.
sure it was.
Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna get the replay up for y'all in about an hour, hour and a half, and we will see you guys hopefully tomorrow night for our final day of the Amazon Q4 Income Accelerator workshop. Good night, everybody. We love you.